Hey everybody, I want to talk to you about flexibility and rolling, or flexibility for rolling. I got a kick out of Dubside in one of his Dubcasts when he says, "You want to know the secret to being a really good roller? Wait for it. Yoga." Yeah. I don't do a lot of yoga per se. I do go to the gym, I do strength training, and I do some yoga at the gym, and I do some yoga poses, but I wouldn't say I'm a dedicated yoga practitioner, but it certainly has its benefits for helping us increase our flexibility. And I want to be really clear that if you feel like you're not flexible enough, or you look over at somebody and they're more flexible, and you feel like, oh, I'm not going to be able to roll, and I'm not going to be able to do whatever, you will be able to roll a kayak. Flexibility helps, but you can work on your flexibility, but please don't ever feel like your flexibility is going to keep you from rolling a kayak, because that's not what we want. So I work on my flexibility almost every day. Sometimes I don't, but 5 or 6 days a week. I have to if I want to keep my body where it needs to be, and I want to keep my rolling where I want it and continue to improve with my rolling. So I'm going to take you through the upper body stretches that I do just about every day to just help me out with rolling. And they work, they really do. I'm able to get to some more difficult rolls now that I couldn't do a year ago because I couldn't bend that way, and now I can. So let's start with upper body, and where I start every morning, particularly is with my wrists. Now I want to say that the exercises that I've chosen, they work really well for me. They may not work for you. You have to find what does work, because we all have different injuries, different lack of flexibility in certain body parts. In my particular case, for my upper body, I have a lot of scar tissue in my wrists. I've had surgery in both wrists. They hurt when I paddle. Keeping them loose helps. Keeping them loose helps for rolling. And I also have some tendinopathy in my left shoulder, so that needs a lot of work. So let's start with wrists. I'll do this from two different angles. With my left wrist, hand on the floor, I'm leaning my upper body forward, my whole body forward, and I'm really fully feeling the stretch pull through my left hand. Looks something like this from this view. Do this as much as you can. Then I'll turn my wrist around and I'll do the same thing. But now I'm leaning back, feeling the stretch pull all through this wrist. And you can rotate your body a little bit around your wrist, gentle little circles. Then I'll put it into this position. Lean away from my wrist, so I'm leaning to the right. That gives it another good stretch. And you're going to want to do these for both wrists. And pretty much everything I'm showing you today, you're going to want to do on both sides of the body. While I'm down here, I like to do some cats and cows, which is a really common yoga pose and is really gentle on the body and is really good for opening up your shoulder blades. I have fairly sticky scapula on that left shoulder, so this helps to get it moving and get it loose. And it's also really good for our spine flexibility and just waking up our spine. So you go up into cat, just really push up. Push those shoulders up to the sky. Feel them just loose, the scapula loosening up, spine loosening up. Go into cow. Back into cat. Take your time with this one. This is not meant to be rushed. But interestingly, do you see something in the cow position? It looks a heck of a lot like a layback roll recovery. That's one of the reasons why this exercise is so good for rollers. So I do about 10 of those. The next thing I do is banded pull-aparts, and I take this band, if I go on a kayak camping trip, I take this band with me. I do it every day. Or sometimes even if I'm on a long day paddle, I'll bring this with me, and at lunch I will do this. It keeps my left shoulder quite a bit happier, keeps the scapula loose. So to do this, elbows kind of close into your waist, and you're going to pull the band apart as far as you can and really feel your scapula moving. Almost squeezing, imagine you're almost squeezing your shoulders together when you extend the band. And I do 3 sets of these, 15 reps every day, like I said. The next thing is the dowel. And you can do this with a dowel, like I have here. This is about 3/4 inch PVC. You can also do it with paddle, which I might do just for the heck of it for entertainment purposes. Okay, I'm gonna lift the dowel up over my head, stretch out my arms, and I'm gonna bring the dowel slowly around till it touches my lower back. Do that again. Don't rush this one. So it looks like. If you can only get to here, that's great. Hang out there. Keep working at it. It took me, I don't know, a month or more of doing this every day before I could get it all the way to my lower back. So don't give up. And then while I have the dowel in my hand, or maybe for the sake of fun, let's use a paddle. This is the Storm paddle. This is the shortest paddle that I own, which is good because if I use that paddle, I would run the risk probably of hitting the ceiling and possibly the sprinkler that's just over my head. That would be really bad. So this is really great. If you're on a trip or you're on a day paddle, you can do this if your shoulders are starting to get tight. Do the same thing, just like that. And the next thing I do while I have the paddle or the dowel in my hand is I want to do a little bit of rotation exercise. I'll put the paddle back here. You can see my feet. I want you to take a look at my feet. I'm going to, as I rotate to the left, I let my right foot come forward just a little bit. That lets my left hip go back more, which gives me more rotation through my torso without me having to really torque on my torso. You can do this in your forward paddling stroke. This is what I do. This gives me a little more torso rotation without having to try to really twist my rib cage. And this works really well for your roll setup. Now I do about 2 sets of 20 of those. And then the next one, this is kind of fun because it doubles not only as a good stretch, but also as good preparation if you are working on spine roll or wanting to learn spine roll. So you hold the paddle, and now I'm going to pull up with my right hand and get a really good stretch back through my left shoulder. And you can move your left elbow around a little bit, reposition that shoulder to get the best stretch. Hang out here for a while. And then I'm going to now pull down with my left hand, and I'm getting a really, really good stretch through my right triceps. So it looks something like this. I'm now pulling down with my left hand, getting a good stretch through my right triceps, through my armpit, whatever that is. I don't know if there's muscles in there, but I know there are. Yeah. Again, do it on both sides, but I'm pretty sure you guys have figured that out. The last thing I do, and this just because it feels really good, is I go into child's pose and really, really extend your arms and your shoulders out as far away as you can. Just spend some time there. And then I do this for my left shoulder. Pass one arm under the other. And then I kind of lean away from my left hand. And I get a really good stretch kind of across the whole back of my shoulder. You can do that on both sides. And that's it. I hope that helps. That is my morning upper body stretching routine.